The story begins in the vast, endless void of space, a place where silence reigns and time itself seems to stretch infinitely. Suddenly, the stillness is broken. Ripples of light shimmer across the darkness like waves on an invisible ocean. From these ripples emerge colossal vessels, their metallic surfaces gleaming faintly under the dim starlight. These ships are unlike anything humanity has ever imagined. Their sleek, elongated forms exude an aura of both elegance and menace. The hulls pulse softly with an eerie luminescence. As if alive, their surfaces inscribed with intricate glyphs that seem to shift and rearrange themselves with every passing moment. The symbols glow faintly in hues of silver and violet, whispering secrets of an ancient, unknowable language. Within the lead ship, a towering figure stands still as a statue on the bridge. Admiral Calvin ***, his four arms folded behind his back, surveys the scene before him. His obsidian-black eyes, devoid of pupils, seem to drink in the light of the distant stars. His skin, a shade of deep iridescent blue, shimmers faintly under the ambient glow of the ship's control panels. Before him, suspended in the blackness of space, hangs a small blue orb, Earth. Its swirling clouds and vast oceans glimmer faintly, a fragile gem cradled in the infinite expanse. Calvin's gaze lingers on it, his expression unreadable. "It remains unchanged," he murmurs, his voice deep and resonant like the rumble of distant thunder. There is no emotion in his tone, only the weight of observation. His words hang in the air for a moment before he continues, "Prepare the scans, the starborn ark must be found." The crew around him moves with silent efficiency. The Erythians are a disciplined people, their movements precise and deliberate. Their hands glide over glowing controls, their faces impassive as they carry out their tasks. The hum of the ship grows slightly louder, a low, vibrating sound as the scanning systems activate. Far away on the surface of the moon, humanity stirs. At Earth's lunar base, Commander Ethan Cross * sits in his quarters, enjoying a rare moment of peace. The faint hum of the base's systems provides a soothing background noise, a reminder of the fragile bubble of life that exists here amidst the lifeless expanse of the moon. But the calm is shattered in an instant. Alarms blare, their shrill cries cutting through the stillness. The walls of the base pulse red with emergency lights. Ethan jolts upright, his heart pounding. He grabs his communicator and rushes toward the command center. Inside, the room is a hive of activity. Officers and technicians scramble to their stations, their faces pale with a mixture of confusion and fear. The holographic display at the center of the room shows a section of the solar system, where 15 massive objects have suddenly appeared at its edge. "They're not ours," says *** Lieutenant Mia Harper ***, her voice trembling as she stares at the display. Her hands hover over the controls, uncertain of what to do next. "Their design, it's nothing we've ever seen." Ethan steps forward, his jaw tightening as he takes in the image. The ships are enormous, dwarfing anything humanity has ever built. Their shapes are alien, their glowing glyphs casting faint shadows across the hologram. He feels a chill run down his spine. "Get me a full analysis," he orders, his voice steady despite the unease gnawing at him. "And alert Earth immediately. They need to see this." On Earth, the news spreads like wildfire. In the underground command center, buried deep beneath the surface, President Kalina Monroe is briefed on the situation. Her advisors gather around her, their faces grim as they review the data streaming in from the lunar base. "This is it," one of them whispers, barely audible. "First contact." The weight of those words hangs heavy in the air. Humanity has always speculated about the existence of other intelligent life in the universe. But now, that distant possibility has become an undeniable reality. And it has arrived not as a gentle whisper, but as a silent, overwhelming presence at the edge of their solar system. Back on the Erythian flagship, Kelvin watches as the scans begin to reveal the details of Earth's surface. His expression remains unreadable, but a flicker of something, perhaps curiosity, perhaps disdain, crosses his face. "Humans," he says softly, the word rolling off his tongue like a foreign taste. For a moment, he allows himself to wonder. What kind of creatures have emerged from this fragile world in the millennia since his people last set foot here? Behind him, the ship's systems hum with life, the glyphs on the walls glowing brighter as the scans intensify. The hunt for the Starbound Ark has begun, and on Earth, humanity braces itself for the unknown. The first encounter with an advanced alien species is no longer a question of if or when. It is happening now, and the future of both worlds hangs in the balance. The silence of Earth's skies is broken by a sound that no human ear has ever heard before. It begins as a low hum, growing into a haunting melody that seems to echo from nowhere and everywhere at once. The tones rise and fall, interwoven with sharp clicking rhythms, like the song of an ancient and otherworldly creature speaking through the void. Across Earth's command centers, the sound reverberates through speakers, chilling those who hear it. It is not just a sound. It feels alive, as if it carries with it the weight of countless centuries and the authority of a civilization far beyond human understanding. In one such room, buried deep beneath the surface of Earth, President Kalina Monroe stands surrounded by her advisors. The air is thick with tension, the weight of the unknown pressing down on everyone present. As the haunting melody continues, advanced translation systems work tirelessly to decode the alien message. Finally, the voice of Admiral Kelvin emerges, smooth yet commanding, each word resonating with an undeniable power. "People of Terra," the voice begins, deep and resonant, like the echo of thunder across an empty canyon. "We are the Erythians, stewards of the galaxy's ancient knowledge. 40 millennia ago, one of our sacred vessels, the Starbound Ark *, was lost on your world. We have come to reclaim what is ours. Comply or face the consequences." The final words hang in the air like a storm cloud, heavy and foreboding. There is no hint of negotiation, no offer of friendship, only a demand, cold and absolute. In the dimly lit command center, the tension is palpable. The room is silent, save for the faint hum of machinery and the occasional rustle of papers. President Monroe's face remains unreadable as she listens to the message, but her hands, clasped tightly behind her back, betray the weight of the decision she must make. "Madam President," a calm voice breaks the silence. Dr. Leela Ardent humanity's foremost astrophysicist, steps forward. Her sharp eyes glint with both intelligence and unease. She holds a tablet in her hands, its screen glowing faintly. "We know what they're looking for," Leela begins, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "The Starbound Ark, it's the artifact housed in the Global Advancement Museum in Zurich. It's no ordinary relic. It's the foundation of everything we've accomplished in the last 3 centuries, our technology, our advancements. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are today." Her words send a ripple through the room. Advisors exchange uneasy glances, and a low murmur begins to rise. The weight of the revelation is clear. Humanity's greatest achievements are tied to something that does not belong to them. President Monroe turns to face Leela fully, her expression still unreadable. "You're certain?" she asks, her voice calm but firm. Leela nods. "Yes, Madam President, the scans they've sent match the artifact perfectly. It's their ship, or at least what's left of it." Another silence falls over the room, heavier than the last. The implications are clear. The Erythians are not here to negotiate or admire humanity's progress. They are here to reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs. Monroe's mind races as she weighs her options. Giving up the Starbound Ark would mean surrendering the cornerstone of humanity's progress, potentially setting them back centuries. But defying the Erythians could mean war, A war against a civilization so advanced that their ships alone dwarf humanity's understanding of technology. Her advisors begin to speak, their voices overlapping in a cacophony of fear and urgency. "We can't give it to them," one insists. "It's too important." Another counters, "If we don't, they'll destroy us." Monroe raises a hand, silencing the room. Her gaze is steady, her voice calm. "Enough," she says. "We cannot act out of fear. If they see us as primitives, then we must show them that we are not." She turns to her chief communications officer. "Send a message," she orders. "Invite them to Earth. Let them see who we are now. Let them see that we are no longer the species they left behind." Far above, aboard the Erythian flagship, Admiral Calvin stands at the center of the bridge, his arms folded as he watches Earth's surface through a massive viewing screen. The planet rotates slowly before him, its blue and green hues glowing softly in the darkness of space. A message arrives from Earth, transmitted in the Erythian language. Calvin listens, his expression unreadable. The humans have invited him and his people to their world, offering to meet face to face. A flicker of curiosity crosses his face, though it is quickly replaced by his usual stoic demeanor. "Interesting," he murmurs, his voice low. "Perhaps they are not as primitive as we believed." He turns to his crew, his black eyes glinting faintly in the dim light of the bridge. "Prepare the delegation," he commands. "Let us see what these humans have become." Back on Earth, President Monroe stands in the command center, watching as her message is sent. She knows the risks of her decision, but she also knows that humanity cannot afford to appear weak. "This is our chance," she says quietly, more to herself than anyone else. "Our chance to show them that we are more than they remember." And so the stage is set. The Erythians, ancient and powerful, are coming to Earth. Whether their arrival will bring peace or destruction remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: humanity's place in the galaxy is about to be redefined. The human starship *Aurora Ascendant * glides through the vast emptiness of space, its sleek, polished hull catching the faint light of distant stars. The ship moves with quiet confidence, its engines emitting a soft, steady hum as it approaches the colossal Erythian flagship. The size difference is staggering. The Aurora Ascendant looks like a silver arrowhead compared to the towering behemoth of alien design that looms before it. Inside the Aurora Ascendant *, the air thrums with controlled anticipation. Captain Julian Ward * stands at the helm, his posture straight and commanding, his uniform crisp. His expression is calm, but his sharp green eyes betray the weight of the moment. Beside him is Dr. Serena Locke ***, a cultural expert whose knowledge of alien civilizations has made her invaluable to this mission. Her demeanor is equally composed, though her fingers twitch slightly at her sides, a subtle tell of the tension she keeps buried beneath her scholarly exterior. Approaching the Erythian flagship, a voice announces over the comms, steady but tinged with awe. The bridge falls silent as the *Aurora Ascendant * draws closer to the alien vessel. Its surface is a labyrinth of shifting glyphs, glowing faintly like veins of liquid silver running through living stone. The ship radiates an aura of age and power, as though it is less a machine and more a relic of some ancient, forgotten era. "We're ready," Captain Ward says firmly, his voice cutting through the silence. He glances at Dr. Locke. "Let's show them what we've become." The two ships connect through a shimmering corridor of light, a bridge of energy that hums softly as it stabilizes. The humans step onto the platform, their polished boots clicking softly against its surface. The air is cool, almost unnaturally so, and carries a faint metallic tang that seems to cling to the skin. At the other end of the corridor, the Erythians wait. Admiral Calvin * stands at the forefront, his tall, imposing figure cloaked in a ceremonial robe that shimmers like liquid starlight. His black, pupil-less eyes fix on the humans with an intensity that seems to pierce through them, as though he is dissecting their very essence. Behind him, His officers stand in perfect formation, their expressions unreadable but their presence radiating silent authority. The humans step forward, their movements calm and measured. Captain Ward leads the way, his head held high, followed closely by Dr. Locke and the rest of the diplomatic team. The two groups meet in the center of the corridor, the atmosphere thick with unspoken tension. Calvin's gaze sweeps over the humans, his expression carefully neutral, but there is a flicker of something in his eyes, curiosity perhaps or unease. When he finally speaks, his voice is deep and resonant, carrying an air of absolute command. "You speak our language," he says, his tone sharp with both surprise and suspicion. "How is this possible?" Dr. Locke steps forward, her movements graceful and deliberate. She meets Calvin's gaze with a calm smile, her voice soft but steady as she replies. "Your ship's databanks," she explains. "When the asterisk Starbound Arc was discovered, it contained extensive linguistic files. We've had centuries to study and understand your language." For a moment, Calvin says nothing. His expression remains stoic, but the faintest flicker of unease crosses his features. The Erythians had always seen themselves as the stewards of superior knowledge, the keepers of ancient wisdom. Yet here stood the humans, speaking their language with a fluency that bordered on mastery. Dr. Locke gestures subtly, and within moments, a holographic display materializes between the two groups. The light shimmers and shifts, forming intricate images that hover in the air like ghostly visions. "We are not the same species you left behind," Dr. Locke begins, her voice calm and even. The holograms depict sprawling interstellar colonies, their structures gleaming under alien suns. Advanced starships, sleek and powerful, streak through the void, their designs rivaling even the Erythians' ancient vessels. Images of humans standing side by side with other alien species flash by, their expressions united in purpose. "This is who we are now," she continues. "We have built colonies across the stars, forged alliances with other civilizations, and advanced far beyond the world you once knew." The Erythian officers exchange subtle glances, their composure faltering ever so slightly. Even Calvin's stoic mask seems to crack, his gaze narrowing as he studies the holograms. The humans' progress is undeniable, their achievements a stark contrast to the Erythians' own stagnation. For millennia, the Erythians had remained isolated, their focus fixed on preserving their ancient knowledge rather than seeking new horizons. Now faced with the evidence of humanity's growth, a seed of doubt begins to take root among them. Calvin's voice cuts through the silence, low and measured. "You have advanced," he admits, though there is a note of reluctance in his tone. "But knowledge is not the same as wisdom. Power without purpose leads only to ruin." Captain Ward steps forward, his expression calm but firm. "We understand that," he says. "But we have not come this far without learning from our mistakes. Humanity has faced its share of trials, Admiral, and we have emerged stronger for it." Calvin regards him for a long moment, his black eyes unreadable. The tension in the air is almost suffocating, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone present. Finally, Calvin speaks, his voice softer but no less commanding. "You have changed, humans," he says. "But whether you are worthy of what you have taken remains to be seen." As the meeting draws to a close, the humans and Erythians part ways, the atmosphere still heavy with unresolved tension. The Erythians retreat to their ship, their minds swirling with questions and doubts. The humans return to the Aurora Ascendant asterisk, their expressions a mix of relief and determination. For the first time in millennia, the Erythians have been forced to confront the possibility that they are no longer the galaxy's sole stewards of knowledge. And for the humans, this is only the beginning of a delicate dance, one that will determine the future of their place among the stars. Inside the labyrinthine halls of the Erythian flagship, a storm brews. The air in the council chamber is heavy, charged with tension that ripples through the gathered officers like an invisible current. The walls, carved with glowing glyphs that pulse faintly in time with some unseen rhythm, seem to listen silently as the debate unfolds. Admiral Calvin Asterisk stands at the head of the chamber, his tall, imposing figure casting a long shadow under the dim, silvery light. His expression is calm, but his tightly clasped hands betray the turmoil within. Before him, Commander Varix Asterisk, his most vocal officer, paces like a caged predator. Murmurs ripple through the room as the other officers exchange uneasy glances. The weight of Varix's words hangs in the air, undeniable yet unsettling. Calvin raises a hand, silencing the growing whispers. "And what would you have us do, Commander?" he asks, his voice low but firm. "Destroy them, wipe out an entire species because they dared to grow beyond what we expected of them." Varix takes a step closer, his glowing patterns flaring brighter. "If we do not act now, Admiral, they will only grow stronger. They are a threat to the balance of the galaxy, to everything we have worked to protect. We must strike before it's too late." Calvin's gaze hardens, his voice dropping to a dangerous calm. "And in doing so, we become the very thing we claim to stand against. Do not forget, Commander, that we are stewards of knowledge, not conquerors. If we act out of fear, we risk losing everything that makes us who we are." The room falls silent, the tension between the two men palpable. Varix's jaw tightens, but he says nothing more, his frustration simmering beneath the surface. Calvin turns his gaze to the rest of the council, his voice carrying the weight of his authority. "We must tread carefully," he says, his tone resolute. "Humanity has changed, yes, but we do not yet know what they will become. To act now without understanding would be to invite chaos. And that is a risk I am not willing to take." Meanwhile, on Earth, preparations are underway. Beneath the sprawling cityscape of New Geneva, the underground command center buzzes with activity. The air is thick with urgency, the hum of voices and the faint clatter of equipment creating a constant backdrop of noise. President Kalina Monroe stands at the center of it all, her expression calm but her eyes sharp as she listens to her advisors. Around her, holographic displays project images of the Erythian fleet, their massive ships hovering ominously at the edge of Earth's atmosphere. "Our diplomatic efforts may buy us time," Monroe says, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "But we must prepare for the possibility that they will not be enough." At her side, General Marcus Steele nods, his broad shoulders squared as he speaks. "The defense fleet is mobilizing as we speak, Madam President. If it comes to a fight, we'll be ready." Monroe's gaze shifts to Steele, her expression unreadable. "And what of the starborn Arc Asterisk?" she asks. Steele hesitates, glancing briefly at Dr. Leela Ardent who stands nearby with a tablet in hand. The astrophysicist looks up, her face pale but determined. "We've taken every precaution to secure it," Leela says, her voice quiet but firm. "The artifact is being moved to a secure location, one that even the Erythians won't be able to detect." But she hesitates, her brow furrowing. "But what?" Monroe prompts, her tone sharp. Leela exhales slowly, her fingers tightening around the tablet. "If they decide to take it by force, there's little we can do to stop them. Their technology is far beyond ours. Even with all our advancements, we're still at a disadvantage." The room falls silent, the weight of her words sinking in. Monroe's gaze hardens, her jaw tightening as she processes the grim reality. "Then we must ensure it doesn't come to that," she says finally, her voice resolute. "We'll continue to negotiate to show them that we are not their enemies. But if they force our hand," she turns to Steele, her expression styly. "We'll be ready." As the day wears on, the tension between Earth and the Erythians deepens. In the shadows of the Erythian flagship, Calvin wrestles with the weight of his decision. torn between his duty to his people and the growing realization that humanity may not be the threat Varix believes them to be. On Earth, Monroe and her advisors prepare for the worst, their every move driven by the knowledge that one misstep could spell disaster. The Starbound HFY, the artifact that has become the center of this fragile conflict, remains hidden, its secrets guarded fiercely. But as the rift between the two civilizations widens, one thing becomes clear. The path forward is shrouded in uncertainty, and the choices made in the coming days will shape the fate of both species for better or for worse. The atmosphere aboard the Erythian flagship is suffocating, thick with the weight of rising tempers and unspoken fears. Admiral Calvin Asterisk stands at the center of the command chamber, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic projection of Earth, its blue and green surface serene despite the storm brewing in orbit. Around him, his officers stand in tense silence, their glowing patterns dimmed by the gravity of the moment. Commander Varix Asterisk, however, is anything but subdued. His voice echoes through the chamber, sharp and unrelenting. They mock us, Admiral. They flaunt what they've taken and refuse to return what is rightfully ours. This cannot continue. Calvin's gaze remains steady, though his jaw tightens. And what would you suggest, Commander, that we destroy them for daring to grow, that we risk war over a single artifact? Varix steps forward, his bioluminescent markings flaring brightly as his frustration boils over. It is not just an artifact. The Starbound HFY is a symbol of our legacy, of our dominance. If we allow them to keep it, we admit weakness. And if we admit weakness, Admiral, we invite chaos. The chamber falls silent, the weight of his words sinking into the minds of those present. Calvin exhales slowly, his gaze flickering to the hologram of Earth. He knows Varix is not entirely wrong. The humans' refusal to comply, their audacity to suggest a partnership of equals, has shaken the very foundation of Erythian pride. But Calvin also sees something Varix refuses to acknowledge. In humanity's defiance, there is not just arrogance but strength born of struggle, of survival. And in that strength, there is a glimmer of something the Erythians have long forgotten: potential. Still, the decision is not his alone. The Council has spoken and their demands are clear. Calvin straightens, his voice calm but firm. Send the ultimatum, he orders. They will have one chance to comply. On Earth, the response is swift. The Erythian demands, return the Starbound HFY, dismantle human colonies, and submit to Erythian oversight, are met with outrage. In the underground command center, President Kalina Monroe stands before her advisors, her expression a mask of calm determination. They expect us to kneel, she says, her voice cutting through the tense silence. But humanity does not kneel, not anymore. General Marcus Steele nods, his face grim. The defense fleet is ready, Madam President. If they try to take the Ark by force, we'll make them regret it. Dr. Leela Ardent standing off to the side, looks up from her tablet. Her voice is quieter but no less resolute. We've come too far to turn back now. The Ark isn't just an artifact, it's a part of our history now. If we give it up, we lose more than just a relic. We lose everything we've built. Monroe's gaze sweeps across the room, taking in the determination etched into every face. Then we stand firm, she says. We offer them a partnership, a chance to move forward together, but if they refuse, her voice hardens. We show them that humanity is not so easily broken. The Erythians' response is immediate and violent. Without waiting for further negotiation, Commander Varix takes matters into his own hands. A fleet of sleek silver shuttles detaches from the Erythian flagship, their engines glowing like molten stars as they streak toward Earth. Their purpose is clear: to seize the Starbound HFY by force. On the outskirts of Earth's atmosphere, a lone human fighter waits. Lieutenant Kara Voss ***, her hands steady on the controls, watches the incoming shuttles with a calm intensity. The cockpit hums softly around her, the advanced systems of her ship, a marvel of human ingenuity blended with repurposed Earthian technology ready for action. "They're coming in fast," a voice crackles through her comms. "I see them," Kara replies, her voice steady. Her eyes narrow as she locks onto the lead shuttle. "Let's show them what we've learned." As the shuttles enter Earth's airspace, Kara's fighter springs into action. The sleek craft moves like a predator, its movements precise and almost impossibly fast. Streams of energy burst from its weapons, striking the shuttles with pinpoint accuracy. But instead of destroying them, the blasts disable their systems, leaving the ships drifting helplessly. One by one, the shuttles fall silent, their engines flickering out as Kara's fighter weaves through them. Inside the disabled ships, Earthian pilots struggle to regain control, their frustration mounting as they realize they are at the mercy of a single human pilot. Kara exhales slowly, her grip on the controls relaxing slightly as the last shuttle falls still. "All targets neutralized," she reports, her voice calm despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "No casualties." Back aboard the Earthian flagship, the mood is one of stunned disbelief. The sight of their shuttles, floating powerless in Earth's orbit, is a blow to their pride that cuts deeper than any weapon. Admiral Calvin stares at the holographic display, his expression unreadable. Around him, his officers murmur in shock, their glowing patterns dimmed by the weight of their humiliation. Before anyone can speak, a new voice cuts through the silence. "Doctor." Leela Ardent ***, her face calm but her eyes sharp, appears on the communication screen. "Admiral Calvin," she begins, her voice steady and measured, "your shuttles have been disabled. We could have destroyed them, but we chose not to. Not because we are weak, but because we believe there is another way." Calvin's gaze sharpens, his dark eyes locking onto hers. "You speak of restraint," he says, his voice low. "But restraint is often a mask for fear." Leela's expression doesn't waver. "Perhaps, or perhaps it is a sign of strength. We do not seek war with you, Admiral, but we will not bow to you either. Let us talk not as conquerors or subordinates, but as equals, allies." For a long moment, Calvin says nothing. The chamber is silent, every officer holding their breath as they wait for his response. Finally, he leans back, his expression thoughtful. "You have courage, human," he says at last, "perhaps more than we gave you credit for." The communication cuts off, leaving the humans and Earthians alike to wonder what Calvin's next move will be. But one thing is clear. The battle of wills is far from over, and the future of both civilizations hangs in the balance. The silence in the Earthian flagship is deafening. Admiral Calvin * stands alone in the observation chamber, his tall, imposing figure framed by the vast expanse of space beyond the thick crystalline window. The blue-green sphere of Earth rotates below, serene and fragile, yet holding a strength he hadn't fully understood until now. The memory of the human pilot's restraint plays over and over in his mind. The humans had the technology to destroy his fleet, their weapons precise and devastating. Yet they chose mercy. They chose to disable, not annihilate. It was a choice that spoke volumes, one that unsettled him in ways he couldn't fully articulate. Behind him, the soft hum of the door opening breaks the silence. He doesn't turn, though he knows who it is. Lyra Vena ***, one of the Empire's most brilliant scientists, steps into the room. Her movements are fluid, almost weightless, her bioluminescent markings glowing faintly in the dim light. "You're troubled," she says softly, her voice carrying a melodic undertone that contrasts with the heaviness in the air. Calvin exhales, his breath fogging slightly against the cool glass. "They are not what we believed them to be," he admits, his voice low. "We thought them reckless, impulsive, dangerous. But now," he trails off, his gaze fixed on Earth. Lyra steps closer, her glowing eyes studying him carefully. "Now you see what I've been trying to tell you," she says. They are not just imitators, Admiral, they are innovators. They've achieved in centuries what took us millennia. And they've done it without the guidance we had, without the stability of an empire to protect them. Calvin turns to face her, his expression guarded. And yet they still defy us. They refuse to return what is ours. Lyra tilts her head, her expression thoughtful. Perhaps they see it differently. To them, the Starbound Ark asterisk is not just a relic of our past, it is a symbol of their future. They've preserved it, studied it, honored it. Can you not see the care they've taken, the respect they've shown? Calvin's jaw tightens, but he doesn't argue. The truth in her words is undeniable, even if it unsettles him. Lyra takes a step closer, her voice softening. Admiral, what if this is not a challenge to our legacy, but an opportunity to expand it? Imagine what we could learn from them, what we could achieve together. They are not our enemies. They are something else, something new. For a long moment, Calvin says nothing. The weight of centuries of tradition and pride presses down on him, but beneath it, a spark of curiosity begins to flicker. The invitation comes unexpectedly. Humanity, in a gesture of goodwill, invites the Earthians to visit Earth, to see for themselves how the Starbound Ark has been treated. Calvin and his officers are escorted to the ** Global Advancement Museum ***, a sprawling structure of glass and steel that gleams like a beacon of progress. Inside, the air is cool and hushed, filled with the faint hum of energy and the soft murmur of visitors. As they move through the halls, the Earthians are struck by what they see. Artifacts from Earth's history are displayed with meticulous care, each one a testament to humanity's journey. From the first primitive tools to the sleek spacecraft that now carry them to the stars, every piece tells a story of resilience, innovation, and hope. Finally, they reach the centerpiece of the exhibit, the Starbound Ark ***. The artifact, ancient and majestic, rests within a protective field of light. Its surface, etched with intricate patterns of Earthian design, glows faintly, as if alive. Around it, holographic displays project images and information, detailing its history and significance. Calvin approaches slowly, his footsteps echoing in the quiet chamber. He stares at the Ark, his expression unreadable. But as he takes in the care with which it has been preserved, the reverence evident in every detail, something shifts within him. They honor it, Lyra whispers beside him, her voice filled with quiet awe. They honor ***. Calvin nods slowly, his gaze never leaving the Ark. For the first time, he sees humanity not as a threat, but as a reflection. A younger, more reckless version of his own people, but one with the potential to grow into something extraordinary. President Monroe steps forward, her voice breaking the silence. "This is what we believe in, Admiral," she says, her tone calm but firm. "Preservation, collaboration, growth. The Ark is not just a piece of your history, it is a bridge between our worlds. Let it be a symbol of what we can achieve together." Calvin turns to her, his dark eyes meeting hers. In that moment, the weight of centuries of Earthian pride and tradition seems to lift, replaced by something new, something fragile but powerful. Hope. As the delegation leaves the museum, the tension between the two civilizations begins to ease, replaced by a tentative understanding. For Calvin, the visit has changed everything. The humans are no longer just a species to be monitored or controlled. They are partners in a future that is still being written. And as he looks back at the Ark one last time, he feels a quiet certainty. The path forward will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Together, they can create something neither could achieve alone. The chamber housing the Starbound Ark ** is silent, save for the faint hum of its protective field. The artifact gleams softly under the museum's lights, its intricate surface alive with the faint glow of ancient Earthian craftsmanship. The Ark seems to pulse faintly, as if it recognizes the presence of its creators after so many years. Lyra Vena steps forward, her glowing eyes fixed on the Ark. Her breath catches as she takes in the modifications humanity has made. Around the Ark, holographic displays detail the advancements, new components integrated seamlessly into its ancient design, energy conduits refined to near perfection, and systems that hum with a quiet, harmonious efficiency. Her fingers hover over one of the displays, tracing the projection of a redesigned energy core. This is impossible, she whispers, her voice trembling with awe. These designs, they're flawless. Calvin, standing a few steps behind her, frowns slightly. Flawless? He echoes, his tone skeptical. Lyra turns to him, her expression uncharacteristically unguarded. Admiral, they've corrected flaws we didn't even recognize. Look at this. She gestures toward the projection, her voice gaining momentum as she explains. The original core had inefficiencies, minor ones, yes, but over time they would have caused degradation. They've not only fixed those inefficiencies, but they've also improved the energy output by nearly 20%. And here, she points to another section of the hologram, her voice dropping to a near whisper. They've stabilized the quantum harmonics. We couldn't even detect those fluctuations when we built it. Calvin's gaze shifts back to the Ark, his expression unreadable. He feels a strange mixture of pride and unease. Pride that something born of Earthian ingenuity could inspire such advancements, but unease at the realization that humanity had surpassed them in ways he hadn't thought possible. Behind them, Captain Ward ***, a human representative, steps forward. His voice is calm but carries a quiet determination. We didn't just preserve the Ark, he says. We studied it. We learned from it, and we honored it by making it better. Calvin turns to him, his dark eyes narrowing slightly. You tampered with something sacred, he says, his voice low. Ward meets his gaze without flinching. We improved upon a legacy, he counters. Your legacy, and now we want to share it with you. The room falls silent, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. Lyra looks back at the Ark, her mind racing with the possibilities. For centuries, the Earthians had seen themselves as the pinnacle of progress, the guardians of knowledge. But now, standing here, she realizes that humanity is not their rival, they are their equal. Ward steps closer, his voice softening. We have an idea, he says. A bold one. What if the Starborn Ark became more than just a relic of the past? What if it became a bridge between our peoples? A place where we could work together, share knowledge, and explore the unknown as partners. Calvin's gaze sharpens. You propose a joint research center. Ward nods. Yes, together we can achieve more than either of us could alone. The Ark brought us to the stars. Let it take us further together. Lyra's heart races as she looks at Calvin, waiting for his response. The Admiral's expression remains stoic, but she knows him well enough to see the conflict in his eyes. This is not just a decision about the Ark. It is a decision about the future of their people, their identity, their place in the galaxy. The deliberations are long and fraught with tension. The Earthian delegation debates fiercely, their voices echoing through the council chamber aboard their flagship. Some argue that collaborating with humanity is a betrayal of their legacy, a sign of weakness. Others, like Lyra, insist that it is an opportunity they cannot afford to ignore. Calvin listens to every argument, his expression unreadable. Inside, however, his thoughts churn. He remembers the sight of humanity's ships, their pilots choosing mercy over destruction. He remembers the care they had taken to preserve the Ark, the respect they had shown for something that wasn't even theirs. And he remembers Lyra's words, they are not our enemies, they are something new. Finally, he raises a hand, silencing the room. His voice is calm, but it carries the weight of finality. We will accept their proposal, he says. The room falls silent. Some of the officers exchange uneasy glances, but no one dares to challenge him. Calvin turns to Lyra, his gaze steady. You will oversee the transition, he says. Make sure this partnership begins on the right footing. The transformation of the Starborn Arc into a joint research center is a monumental effort, but one carried out with a sense of purpose and hope. Erythian and human scientists work side by side, their initial distrust giving way to curiosity and mutual respect. The Ark becomes a symbol of unity, its ancient halls now filled with the hum of collaboration. Laboratories are established, blending Erythian precision with human ingenuity. Together, they tackle problems that had once seemed insurmountable, developing new propulsion systems, exploring the mysteries of dark matter, and even designing ships capable of traveling beyond the galaxy's edge. In time, the partnership extends beyond the Ark. Joint missions are launched, with human and Erythian ships venturing into uncharted territories together. They encounter new species, forge alliances, and uncover secrets that had been hidden for millennia. Standing on the observation deck of the Ark, Admiral Calvin watches as a fleet of ships, human and Erythian, disappears into the void, their engines leaving trails of light that shimmer like distant stars. Beside him, Lyra stands quietly, her expression thoughtful. "They've surprised us," she says softly. Calvin nods, his gaze distant. "They've done more than that," he replies. "They've reminded us of what we once were, bold, curious, unafraid to reach for the impossible." He pauses, his dark eyes reflecting the endless expanse of space. "For so long, we thought ourselves alone at the pinnacle. But now I see that the galaxy is vast enough for more than one legacy." Lyra smiles faintly. "Do you think this alliance will last?" Calvin doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he watches as the last ship vanishes into the stars. "If it does," he says,